Hello, my name is Linda Mashansky, and I'm a volunteer with the Duke of Edinburgh International Award Program. To help you meet the requirements for the preliminary training of your adventurous journey, we've developed a number of informational videos. At the end of the video will be a means for you to document that you have fulfilled this requirement with a certificate or authorization that can be printed off or downloaded to your online record book. In this video, I will be reviewing equipment, both what you need and things to consider or look for when purchasing or borrowing gear. The type of footwear depends on the terrain that you are in. For well-groomed trails, a low hiker such as this or approach shoe is all you really need. If you're going over very uneven ground, a higher boot with a good ankle support is recommended. For canoeing, wear aquatic shoes with a rubber sole, but have a pair of hiking shoes for the portages. Ensure your shoe fits properly. When laced tightly, your toe should not touch the end of the shoe, and the heel should be snug with very little up and down movement. Be sure they are well broken in before your trip, and also carry a second pair of camp shoes to rest your feet at night. When deciding your clothing, the layering system is used no matter the season. Your base layer is your warmth layer. Wicking material such as fine wool, silk, and synthetics are best. It should be close-fitting but not tight. The weight depends on the time of the year. The second layer is made of medi articles. Its purpose is to continue pulling moisture away from your body and also trapping the warm air around you. It therefore should be loose-fitting. It is important to be able to add and subtract from this layer as you heat up or cool off. Materials such as heavier wools, synthetics, polar fleece are just some of the commonly used materials. You can also, in this layer, when it's very cold, add a jacket such as this fiber-filled jacket. Your final layer is your environmental layer. This is your nylon windbreaker or your Gore-Tex jacket to protect you from the rain, the snow, or the wind. Don't forget to layer all parts of your body, your legs, your head, your hands, and your feet as well. Having 2 layers of socks will also help prevent blisters. Remember to add and subtract layers as needed. Don't allow yourself to get overheated, and when you stop, prevent a chill by getting that extra layer on. If you feel damp or wet, replace as soon as possible, especially the layer next to your skin. Always wear fresh clothes for sleeping. To save space, pants such as these with the legs that zip off and that are also quick dry material allows you to do your laundry on the trail. Avoid heavy cottons and denim. The most singularly important piece of gear is your sleeping bag. Nothing replaces a good night's sleep. There are 3 main styles of bags: mummy, barrel, and rectangular. The mummy is the most confining, but is the warmest and packs the smallest. The barrel bag is roomier, but still quite warm. Rectangular bags are the roomiest, but also tend to be very bulky and heavy. Temperature ratings are guidelines only. How warm they keep you depends on the style, but mostly on how much heat your body creates. I am a cold sleeper. To be comfortable at -10, I use a bag rated at -20, while my husband, who is a warm sleeper, can use a bag rated for 0. How a sleeping bag works is the fill or loft, as it is referred to, traps the warm air that your body heats. Down is the best material to do this, but loses its ability when it gets wet. Many of the new materials, such as Permaloft, is also almost as good as down and are still warm if they do get wet. Features to look for in a sleeping bag are things like a storm cuff, which is this cuff that goes behind your zipper, a shoulder or neck cuff, and also a hood. All with drawstrings. As well, you want to look for a bag that the stitching does not go all the way through. If you can pull the bag apart like this, that means that the stitching does not go all the way through. By adding a liner, such as this Polar Fleece liner, will also make your bag warmer. Or you can put 2 bags together to increase the warmth. They will also help keep your bag clean, as frequent washing will create a breakdown of your fill and the loss of the warmth. When not in use, your bag should be stored either flat or hung loosely packed in a net bag such as this. Don't keep them stuffed in your compression bag. Just as important is your pad. There are many types to choose from, but closed foam, such as this, is your best insulator. As you are compressing the fill of your sleeping bag under you, you need that extra layer to protect you from the cold ground. Even in a hammock, a pad is needed. To save weight or space, you just need one that basically covers your neck, shoulders, and hips. If you're sleeping on hard surfaces, you may want to look for one that is thicker and more padded. An air mattress is not good because it has a notorious habit of being flat in the morning, and it also is not a good insulator. Pillows, on the other hand, are not necessary. Substitute it with your stuff sack filled with clothes, saving both space and weight. You can carry your gear in many ways. A backpack is the most common and comes in 3 styles. The external frame pack, such as this one, works best on open trails and where there is little climbing or bush travel. The frame holds the pack away from your body and allows air movement between your back and the frame. Internal frame packs, such as this, hug your body and become an extension of you. It can be very hot, though, on your back. A canoeing pack is waterproof, and it also molds to the bottom of the canoe. The size of your pack depends on how much gear you want to carry and the duration of your trip. It is measured in liters, and the larger the pack, the more features they tend to have. All packs, when you buy one, you should look for well-padded straps, a good lumbar pad, a sternum strap, lots of attachment points, and zippers that are covered. The more compartments or pouches allow you to organize your gear for greater accessibility. Don't use a pack, though, that is too big. When fully loaded with your gear, it should not weigh more than 20% of your body weight. You also need to ensure that your pack fits you. Before you go, obtain your torso length. This is a distance from the most prominent vertebrae in your neck to your hip bones along your spine. The suspension system that holds your pack should be adjustable, as we can see here. When you're wearing your pack, the shoulder straps where they connect to your pack should be 3 to 4 inches below your shoulder. Your hip pack, pad, and belt should rest on your hips, not on your waist. Also ensure you keep your sternum strap on to help prevent your pads, your arm pads from, shoulder straps from going into your armpits. This way, by having it done up properly, will help distribute your weight properly. When you try on a pack, load it up with 20 to 30 pounds and walk around the store. If it doesn't feel right, don't get it. Pots come in many styles and sizes. Aluminum pots are the most affordable, but are not very durable. Stainless steel are tough and heavier, but do not distribute heat evenly. Titanium pots, just as this, are very durable, but tend to be more expensive. Having a non-stick coating makes a pot easier to clean, but can easily be damaged by metal utensils. I recommend having 2 pots, one for your food and another one to heat water in. By having a lid, conserves fuel, but also reduces your heating time. And these also can double as frying pans. Pots should also nest and have room for things such as your cleaning materials, your cooking utensils, hot pads, or in this case, the handle for holding on to the pot. Your largest pot should be able to hold 2 cups of fluid per person. So for a group of 3, you need a pot that holds at least 6 cups. The size of your stove depends on the trip that you're going on. 1 or 2 burner stoves will also be dictated by your menu. The principal difference is the type of fuel. White gas or naphtha burns very efficiently and is the best choice for cold or high altitude camping, but can be complicated to operate and maintain. Compressed gases such as butane and propane are easier to use with less maintenance, but the canisters cannot be refilled and are heavy, bulky, and difficult to gauge in how much is left. Alcohol stoves are quiet and very easy to use, but do not create much heat. It is also difficult to see the flame. Before buying a stove, look at the design and the performance. Descriptions include the time it takes to boil a liter of water. It is also a good idea to have a windscreen, such as this, to make the stove more efficient. As a guideline, liquid stoves require 4 ounces of fuel per person per day for hot drinks and quick meals. If you're melting snow or a high altitude, double the estimate. A 250 liter canister of compressed gas will provide fuel for 2 people for 3 days in the summer conditions. Okay, that's a 250 gram canister of compressed gas will provide fuel for 2 people for 3 days in summer conditions. Your shelter can be many forms: a tent, a hammock, or a tarp, or a bivy sack. To keep your tent on the smaller side to save weight and space to set it up in. However, a 2-man tent is comfortable for 1 person with full gear, as the sizes do not take into account your gear. The amount of material versus netting will make it warmer and cooler, and also look for a bathtub bottom. This is your bathtub bottom. The seam is along the wall about 3 to 4 inches up the side of the tent. A good tent will have tape seams and full sleeves for the pockets. It should also have a full fly. This means that the fly completely covers all of the tent. It will help with the waterproofness. A vestibule also gives you more room to put your gear. A tarp under the tent will help with waterproofness, warmth, cleanliness, and to protect it against damage from objects on the ground. A side door makes it easier to enter and exit the tent, but a tunnel tent, such as this one, forces you to crawl in from the end. It is recommended that you stuff your tent rather than fold or roll it, and as permanent creases may cause the material to be compromised for the waterproofing. Always ensure you set your tent up properly to ensure waterproofness. The walls should be tight, and don't forget to peg all the points to secure the guidelines. This will also help secure it in the wind. Do not have the floor tarp extend past the edge of the fly. So your fly should be over your tent. Otherwise, any wind and water that comes in will be funneled underneath and you will get wet. Hammocks are lightweight and take up little room in your pack, but it may take a while to find a good place to set it up. You must also ensure you have a good pad under your sleeping bag or you will get cold. Bivy sacks, you can move some of this. Go right over top of your sleeping bag and will add an extra layer of warmth. Both hammocks and bivy sacks do not have a place for placing your gear to keep it out of the elements. Some other equipment to consider depends on your trip. These include a flashlight or a headlamp. Headlamps I prefer as they keep your hands free for when you're doing stuff at night. Navigation equipment such as a GPS or a compass. But don't forget extra batteries. Extra rope, at least 15 meters. This can be used for securing your tent or for a clothesline. Cooking utensils, depending on your menu, but keep them small. You need some sort of water purification method. In this case, I have a water filter. You can also use tablets or a UV sterilizer. Cup, bowl, your knife, fork, and spoon, but also to make sure you take a sharp knife with you as well. Have a repair kit. This contains simple items like wax dental floss, some needles, extra line, and also a stringer to help you pull the line through if need be. You should also carry extra clips for your backpack. Have some sort of an alerting device, such as a whistle, a mirror, or a personal location beacon. As well, any other specialized equipment that you may need, depending on what you're doing. Your kit list is driven by your needs. There are many suggested guidelines, including the one in our Duke of Edinburgh resource book. Use your practice journey to determine what you may need, and then practice using your gear. Always take good care of your kit, repairing and cleaning and drying it thoroughly before you put it away or when you return borrowed items. There are last few tips that I want to talk about, and that is to organizing your pack. All items should be waterproofed in a Ziploc bag. Best way is just take your bag, put your piece of clothing, for example, in it, roll it up to get all the extra air out of it, and zip it up. This not only makes it waterproof, but also more compact. Lighter objects in your backpack should go in the outer pockets and near the top. Your heavier items should go close to your body or where your bone mass is and lower down. It's also a good idea to add something like another plastic bag inside of your backpack. Put your stuff in it, and then close that up. That way you have a double waterproofing for your gear. Put items that you're not going to need right away or later on in your trip lower down in your bag. Put things that you want to have easy access to on the outside. For your food, put your food in a separate bag and have it outside of the bag that has your clothes and stuff in, just in case you have a leak so that your clothes don't get dirty. Your fuel for your stove should also be in an outer pocket in its own bag as well, so in case it leaks and doesn't contaminate your clothes. Be thrifty and take only what you need. And remember to put items back in the same place when you take them out. As you go through and do more and more trips, you will find what works best for organizing your gear. Don't hesitate to ask local outdoor store staff for assistance, but remember, their bottom line is to make a sale. Don't let them sell you what you do not need or something that's too big. Do your research to ensure that your gear will do what you need it to do. Have fun on your trip.